Hello, I'm extremely happy to be here. I am super hyped for this matchup. I am super hyped to see how it's going to turn out. And you're not wide anymore, my friend. Um, yes, I think so. So, interestingly enough, I can hear him as you can't hear him, but this is okay. We're just having casual difficulties. Bradley's still muted. Well, fine. Hopefully, he's going to be able to fix
There we go.
what
Hello?
is in front
Hello?
of him. I can hear you well. I don't know what about people in
Hey
chat.
chat, can
People
I
in
get
chat.
a pog if I'm unmuted? Am I alive again?
Pog, pog. Pog, pog.
Okay. That's all I like to see.
Poggers.
Again, apologizing for the no wide today. It is what it is,
This
but
is everything is because of the
that's what it was.
non-wideness.
That's what it was. And
That's because of that.
yeah.
That's pretty much because of this. Now, just to hype things up, just think
Yep.
about it. You've got SGM
Yes.
against RT1.
Uh both teams I think undefeated, not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. Um
I
but
think RT1 are undefeated, definitely.
but not gonna get too into it again. I'll repeat what I said earlier. From the bottom of Div 2 earlier on today, we're up at the heights, the top of Division 1. Today, teams fighting for RT1's undefeated streak. SG Momentum, I think, looking to perhaps edge around the second place mark. But still, I expect to see an extremely high quality game today. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the draft.
Let's do that indeed. Now, looking at the draft, this is a very interesting matchup, especially when I see a support coming from SGM. I'm like, okay,
I mean,
this haven't been played in quite a while.
true, and I mean, especially since we do see, as per usual, the man's signature Thresh is banned out. I don't think he's had the liberty of being able to play it for us this entire tournament. I think maybe once or twice, but definitely opting for a different style of support today. I think Sona, after she got buffed, was quite strong, the new reworked Sona. But interesting to see how it's gonna go. But yeah, I mean, RT1 opting for the standard MF. We've seen Toto
Oh
play
yeah.
weak side MF many a time, and it seems to work really well for Red Team 1. So super hyped.
Oh yes. I mean, overall, it just seems like such of an interesting matchup pretty everywhere around the map. Not even talking about like, oh, you've got Arya against Syndra. Is that interesting? Of course it is, with
Of
the amount
course.
of damage, with the amount of potential solo kills being squared on the mid lane and stuff like that. Then you have the jungle matchup,
Mm-hmm.
Viego against Xin Zhao. Is that interesting? Of course it is,
A lot of fighting, a lot
because
of fighting.
exactly, and if these people are going to collide
Of
somewhere
course.
around the river or with the war for the scuttle crab, is going to become messy. It is going to become messy. Then you look at the top lane, and you go Tom Kench against Darius.
I mean, two of the best
Who is
fighters at the moment in the game, right?
exactly, and who is going to win? The one with the big teeth, or the one with the big axe? Is that interesting? Of course it is. And then you've got bot lane, right?
I mean,
You've
any
got
Tristana
Galio
lane.
exactly. Like, yes, it is Galio and Misfortune. Is that interesting? Of
Mm-hmm.
course it is. But you've got Tristana, something really to watch out for, and Sona. Now, how do you make that work?
I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from. I think with the Galio MF, you can see it. They hit 6. Galio's going to go in. He's going to taunt. MF is going to ult on top. Cool. That is a strategy that exists. I believe there's also a bug in the game at the moment where Galio can E-flash mid-animation to jump over things like walls and
Is that
stuff.
so?
Yeah, that is a new addition to Galio that I was made aware of a couple of days ago. But I think on the Tristana Sona side of things, I think it might be a little bit harder for them to navigate the lane, where Tristana is more, I'm going all in here. Sona, a little bit more of a poke kind of champion. At level 6, I'm 100% certain that they can look for that all
Oh,
in, but,
yeah.
I mean, look, I think it's just going to come down to how hard Sona can pressure the lane while still remaining safe from this Galio, because that is a lot of damage. Even though it is a Galio support who will probably go tank, this man's base damages are nuts. I've been one-shot by this man too many times to count. But
Brilliant.
yeah.
Sounds brilliant. I mean, sounds really brilliant. I think that the draft is looking extremely exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
I mean,
completely agree.
I accept a bloodbath. I expect a proper Irish bar
Oh yeah, I
bloodbath
want to
over
see a
here.
bar fight everywhere, man. I want to
Oh
see
yes.
it's gonna go down hard. Everyone, I mean, just to stop and think, like, as much as I love a good bloodbath, taking the tactical approach, I'd like to say that perhaps Red Team 1 have a slightly better team fight with the MF Galio, Darius, that kind of thing. But SG Momentum looking really strong with maybe a Sona ult Tristana pick. They got a lot of good one-shot target bursts.
Viego with the resets though.
Of course. Oh, you can never forget what Viego turned like. This man can literally be every champ on RT1's team
Yep.
with a massive heal and all of their abilities and all of their items and
Yep.
reset into reset. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the same
Just
goes
think
for
about it. Somebody
yeah.
goes wild. Somebody goes really in a good position, being put forwards and stuff
Yeah,
like
of
that.
course.
And here comes Viego. It's the opposite team just basically not
Yeah.
one shots you, but
Yeah.
tries to bring you down, and they do eventually. And what do they do then? They just grab you.
Yeah.
They just grab all the items,
Mhm.
all the power spikes, and then they just go on and kill
Oh yeah.
everything that they see. Imagine a fed Darius being taken by SG Momentum thanks to the Viego reset.
Yeah.
Does that sound scary too? It does sound scary
I
to me.
mean, talking about resets, right? We also have a Darius. The man likes to reset. I mean,
Doxian guillotine.
Yeah, that is a big, big, big team fight reset
again.
presence. Are you frozen again? You're back. Did I say frozen? No problem. But as you are frozen, I don't think you are anymore. Never mind.
No, I'm not.
Oh my god, my computer is freaking out.
You're not wide. That's why it's.
Yeah, this is what it is. I go from wide. I lost a little bit of weight, and it just all goes to pot. But anyway.
You have a very good digital diet, apparently.
Let's move into the game if it does load up. There we go.
I would be very appreciative
of a stream.
Having a yep.
I will sort you out. As both teams just dancing around the rift at the moment. If I just quickly do this. There we go. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
There we go. Both teams just looking for that standard 5-point start. I pray that you can see what's happening.
Oh, yes, I can see and hear it loud and clear.
Perfect. And I have a new toy to play with today. I can zoom in and out now.
Oh!
Yes, sir.
Does that sound exciting to you, ladies and gentlemen? Because for me, of course, it does.
2 months in the making.
That's perfectly fine.
I mean...
Well, yes, and something actually talking about the teleports and overall the choose of summoners. So, Tahm Kench is not running Flash.
I mean, the man came to lick. I don't think he really cares too much, but there... I think if he finds himself...
Brady, please can you remove the mouse at all?
Remove the mouse, excuse me?
We can see the mouse on the minimap. That would have been very lovely if we could do that.
There we go.
Just put it somewhere so that we're not looking at it.
I mean, it disappears. It'll disappear in a couple of seconds. Don't worry about it.
Okay, fantastic.
There you go.
Now,
and it's...
Yes.
Yeah.
Just overall, so Tahm Kench is not running Flash, right?
Yeah.
There's only one Ignite on the team of SGM, which is again on Tahm Kench, while Lune is running
the Ignite herself. Yes.
So what I'm quite interested and a little bit concerned about, how are you going to play this out with this particular set of the summoner spells?
I mean, I think Tahm Kench just needs to play around the fact that he doesn't have the Flash, and I think that's totally something Tahm Kench can do. He is super tanky. He will have a lot of time just to walk away in most situations. But as far as the bot lane is concerned, I can't see a world where Flay today can effectively get this exhaust onto the MF. Maybe onto the Xin or the Darius later on in the game was the huge reasoning for taking it, but definitely got to play careful, as there is some big trading going on from Wolf in the mid lane on that Ahri pick that we have seen someone else play on a different team, and it was to pretty good effect.
It was, and here we go. This is a little bit of a fight here on the Scuttle Crab. The war is about to begin, but I think Diego might be a little bit of trouble. Double Smite coming in there as well. Here comes Tahm Kench, at least some kind of a reinforcement, and the fight is still about to continue. Stun not going to connect thanks to the flash, and the fight is just going on. Viego flashes away, and Tahm Kench is still in pursuit, but not able to find anybody just yet. But the Syndra takes the kill in her hands. Now the fight is about to continue furthermore. A stun is going to connect. A good shield, but Rango takes the kill into his hands, gets a very good heal, and the double kill. And the popcorn is going to stop the fighting between the teams here.
Well, I mean, this is why you take Ignite on Tahm Kench. I mean, he had that wave shoved, so he had priority for that first scuttle. He does get there first, and that Ignite actually does secure the Syndra first blood with the Corrupting Pot burn, but I mean, you got Flash then. The Flash advantage from Rengo. He flashes in, cleans up 2 kills for himself. Once he has that 5 stacks, gets a massive heal.
Might be a very big trouble. Here comes a good stun, and I think Fari has to flash away. And yes, indeed, might be still in trouble. A good charm, a good damage, but Viego is still in pursuit. I can see Lune and Todo making their way. That's a good stun. That's a kill, but here comes the Golem. First kill going over to Todo, and I think Viego has nowhere to go. Yes, he doesn't. Double kill for Todo.
I mean, a suspect TP initially, but it turns into an amazing, amazing bait where Kung Fu and Xandars just get a little bit overextended. They perhaps don't expect the 3-man in unison rotation from Loon, Toto, and Sanix, but Yeah, a nice clean up double kill for Toto. And we can now see that he is actually up a full 600 gold off those 2 kills. And let's just see if he can really bring that extra gold into effect, as he does now pick up the serrated Dirk and does head back down to the bot lane.
Now, with this very good way of playing from SGM in terms of Syndra, in terms of Xander's, don't you think that the play has backfired a little bit? Because right now you have a very strong Darius with 2-0 lead. That's pretty much what, let's say, approximately he's about 500-600 goal lead, right? If I'm correct. No, he's 400 goal lead.
I mean, Tom got assist, right? So
yes. And you've got Toto, who is full-on 700 gold lead. Now, the play has backfired a bit, didn't it?
I mean, I completely agree, but at the same time, I think Xandar's is a bit of a shining star for Momentum, or at least, he'd say so if you asked him. So I think in Momentum's point of view, they're like, look, we got gold on our man who's going to make this work for us. I don't think they can be too disappointed. But yes, I think that both plays that they perhaps thought that they might have had the upper hand in did in fact turn around. And we do know that, especially the last time around with RT1, that they are a very good team at responding to and capitalizing on perhaps slide over extensions, and they do like to rotate and play for each other. Because there is a bit of trading going on in the top lane.
Indeed, and that's even a Devour coming in there, as Viego's going to join the fight as well. And the shutdown will be there almost instantly.
I mean, Tom Kench just wraps up and delivers that kill straight over to Kung Fu. Hits 6 first and just goes in. I mean, that is a huge wave, a huge XP advantage over to the Tom Kench. And now Rengo is also forced to TP here because he does not want to miss that wave.
Indeed, good true. Also a good shutdown, making the difference in the gold not so big. It's only 400 gold now. But I mean, the Drake is also going to be taken.
Of course, a great response from RT1. They see Kung Fu in the top lane, and they're like, look, we have bot shoving, we have pressure mid, so we're just going to start up the Drake, and there's nothing they can do about it. And Kung Fu will look for an invade now that he does know that Sanix is bot after they did just take that dragon. But yeah, I mean, game looking pretty even right now. Slight RT1 favor. But I think at this point in the game, it is too close to call.
It definitely is. The Herald is going to spawn in just about 30 seconds, so we'll have to see how the teams are going to react to that. A good charm coming onto Ari, good damage, but here comes a stun, and that means that Kung Fu can go in there, but Sanix isn't here. That's a good stun coming in there with the Heartbreaker as well. And oh my god, Wolf is still alive. The feet work is in there. Here comes the reset onto Viego, but he's way too low. A trade of kills on the mid lane.
Viego trying to heal up with his ulti and passive, but it's just not enough to get him out of that tower. But RT1 Wolf doing an absolutely amazing job, as Tristana does look for a trade. But Wolf doing an amazing job of keeping himself alive, bringing out the fancy feet to avoid that last Syndra Q, and just keeping Kung Fu involved for long enough that that RT1 Sanix can end up picking up that kill, and it will be just a traded 1-for-1 again. Seems kind of going more or less even. Gold again. It's 200 gold lead in favor of RT1, but RT1 are looking to start up that Herald, as we do see Sanix and Loon rotating up for it as well, while Kung Fu is just down on his red buff.
That is completely true, meaning that they won't be able to respond to the Herald in time. That Herald will be taken by RT1. Now, there's a lot of ways how you can use that Herald, especially on the bot lane, since it gets shut quite frequently, if I'm not mistaken.
They do know Kung Fu might be on his way to this blow-off. It has been up for a while, and they do have vision down on it, as he will spot out the ward, but he won't spot out Sanix.
And Sanix seems to be interested to go in, and yes, indeed, a good trading, but that's a very big numbers disadvantage. Crescendo coming onto Xinjiang, he's trying to get away, but Wolf has to run back as soon as possible as well. More reinforcements coming from his GM, and I don't think there's a way out. Flashes over the wall, tries to get away just still, but the last orb will connect onto Sanix.
I mean, I think this is just quite unfortunate for RT1 here, but a great switch up and a great rotation from SG Momentum, sending their bot lane to top perhaps looking for Herald himself. They didn't really know that it was going to be gone. But, yeah, RT1 not expecting this. They overstep a little bit. Sanix does go for that play, and he does pick up the kill initially, but, I mean, there's just too many members of Momentum around, and they will just clean up, and that's advantage Momentum. However, RT1 did still manage to secure themselves a Rift Herald, so...
Oh, in the meantime, Rengo looking for a good fight. Exhaust is coming in there, so are the flashes. I think the reinforcements is about to come in, and the cavalry is about to arrive as well. Mid lane. Having a little bit of a fighting as well, but that's a numbers disadvantage now for Wolf, even though Lune is slowly making her way towards the mid lane. And I think this is just going to be a act of threat, basically, from both
True,
of the
both teams just reminding each other that, hey, you know, don't overstep your position here, guys, but, Flay today going to be forced to burn both summoners there, so a great all-in attempt there from Rengo, but, just barely not enough, and, now that Tom Kench, Rasutus has been down here for so long, they will pick up just the one tower plate, but no response tower plating. Of course, I completely agree.
Oh, Wolf might be in trouble yet again, channeling the Spectral Maw, not going to find the target as the charm will connect, meaning that Wolf is pretty much safe here, I would say.
I mean, both junglers, I feel like putting quite a strong emphasis on this mid lane. I know Kung Fu has been here maybe 3-4 times now. I know RT1 have responded super well, but both teams putting an immense amount of pressure in and around this mid lane. I mean, of course, again, I said it earlier on, I think Xandars is a player that would like to think of himself as the main carry of this team, and definitely demanding that respect.
Basically, Chovy, basically. I would say. From his point of view.
Of course, yeah.
Way.
Unconfirmed, but
unconfirmed, yeah, but let's see if this is going to be actually true or not. The Rift Hunter is going to be spawned in the mid.
Right before Drake is up, and they will just look to get this Rift Herald charge and use that prior to pick up a Drake, but Syndra does have the TP, so she might respond and move over, as Rift Herald will charge. Here comes the TP from Syndra.
Indeed it is, and I think RT1 recognizing the position they might be in. Rango's going to be caught in here, getting a lot of damage, and he will be almost instantly deleted. The fight is about to continue, moving on. The reset is coming, here comes the crescendo as well, and it just seems a very interesting position. Bullet time is going to bring at least somebody maybe down, but not just yet, as SGM are looking to win the fight in a brutal fashion, scoring an ace without losing a member of their team.
And that's a 5-0, and they're just gonna pick up the Drake here. They're gonna get a bunch of tower plates, but I think Rengo just getting a little bit too aggressive, just caught out initially, and then once Kung Fu gets his first reset, we all know what Viego's gonna do. He goes in and puts a ton of CC down, and you have a fed Syndra behind you. Like, you one-shot whoever's gonna walk up, but I mean, I think RT1 just a little bit caught out there on the play, just caught lacking a little bit. They perhaps weren't expecting that amount of damage coming out from the side of Momentum, but super well played from Momentum.
Itemization, by the way. Very interesting itemization coming from Kung Fu. Instead of picking up Divine Sundra, which is pretty much the standard issue item for Viego, he decides, no, I don't want that. I want a Emoso Shield Bow. I want to live in those fights a little bit longer.
I mean, I agree, and I think that Riot have definitely been pushing Viego to this crit style of champ. I know that the damage is quite high, but the problem with this is now a question of can Kung Fu keep himself alive? Because yes, you do have a lot of tankiness with the shield bow, but does it compare to the kind of bruiser style build of the goodness, I've forgotten the name of the item. That item,
Immortal Shield Bow?
No, the Bruiser one. The Bruiser...
Divine Sundra?
The Sunderer, yes. The Sunderer build, the standard Bruiser Viego, but he is 100% opting, I think, for the crit build now. And, I don't know, but so far it seems to be working for him.
It seems like the next one, oh, good damage coming from Xanders as he's going to one-shot Wolf here.
I mean, that's a full build, not a full build, that is a 5-1 Syndra. She has an item and boots. You do not want to walk up to her. Also, level 11, level 2 ulti. I mean, again, you just got to respect the Syndra there, I feel like. Liam, or RT1 Wolf, looking perhaps to to bait again. Sanix was hovering around the mid lane, but Xandar's outplayed him, pressed his R button. It's happened to everyone. You know, Syndra presses R, someone's gonna die, especially when she's this fed.
Oh yes, and the stun is again about to connect. The flash will be traded for the crescendo, meaning that Sanix will be pretty much alright. The red team has destroyed the first turret, meaning that RT will get that little bit of extra gold. But here comes the Rift Herald started by SGM, and I don't think that RT1 have an opportunity to contest it.
Rasutas is just being left down on a little bit of an island, and I think RT1 Toto is finding himself in a lot of gold now that he's picked up this first tower, but a good response. Like, you've sent your bot top, you should have more men in and around for this Herald, and they are going to push for it, and they are going to pick it up. So I would like to see this being used around the mid lane to make sure Xandars can get up and around, as both teams do seem to be playing up towards the top side, except for the Tahm Kench, who does have his TP available. So they might look for the dive here.
They might do indeed, but Kung Fu seems to be going out a little bit. Rengo still trying to bait opponents in. Oh, Wolf might be caught in here. Good charm landing. There's some good trading. And things are getting a little bit more spicy at the top side of the map.
RT1 really fishing to bait this dive. They are ready to respond to this one, but perhaps sniffed out here by Momentum, as Momentum do choose just to back off and play for that vision control. They're not going to step up too far. And
they're using teleport to get to the bot lane.
I mean, so now that his bot is rotated up top,
now.
Yeah, catching that bot wave, that is more than okay, I believe. As yeah, I mean, the war for vision just goes on and on and on. They're not giving up on this top play.
And now they're going in even further. Exhaust coming onto with the bullet time. That's a very good damage, actually. And response coming from RT1. The fight is about to continue furthermore. That's a good stun landing in there. Tristan going in there, but that's a shot down. Coming onto Viego. The fight is about to continue here. Tristan not going to fish anybody just yet, but Sanix will pick up Sona. And the fight is not about to escalate anymore, as GM realizing the trouble they're in and trying to get away.
I mean, SGM really looking and trying to force that play quite hard. I think they got the vision, they went through fine, but the problem is they forgot about Wolf. That is an Ahri, and that is, yeah, okay, she's not going to be as fed as Xandar's is on this Syndra, but you still have to respect the damage. So you go in 3v3, but then Wolf just ults over the wall, gets off a ton of damage, and even though, yeah, Xandar's hit a huge two-man stun, it's just not enough to take down any of the members of RT1. And they're just going to clean up that fight. I think it turned out to be a 2-for-0. But yeah, I think just getting a little bit carried away there. Perhaps Xandar's not expecting to do more damage than he did.
Maybe not. Actually, Tristan might be in trouble right now. Jumps away. Oh, the Herald is going to be spawned in the mid.
That will be
how about that. And I think Toto is interested to try to dive him. I don't know if that's the best of the ideas, but still he's going to force him out of the lane. Rift Herald is not even going to receive the tie, but here comes a good stun, and here comes the Abyssal Travel as well. Xinjiao's still alive in this fight, but he won't be alive for way too long. Kung Fu picking up the kill onto Sanix, as the Dragon will be started by SGM.
Sanix getting again, he's just a touch too far up. The Drake is spawning. Momentum doing a great job of being together for these objectives, and they make another pick.
The fight might even escalate furthermore, judging especially by the pings. RT1 recognizing the trouble they might be in, so they decide to pull up the troops, call in a retreat, maybe try to regroup and go for a different position over there, as the mid turret is about to fall, and so probably will the top side turret as well. Oh, okay, that's a good pick. Torn coming in there, and that's just a bomb blowing up on SGM. Despite the devour, here comes a flash, a charm, an immense amount of damage, and a double kill for Rango.
As soon as you think Momentum are getting themselves just an edge up ahead in this game, I mean, RT1 see they're on the Drake. They say, you know what, we're going to push mid, take mid tower, go into their topside jungle, and get vision control. I mean, they set up the vision. Unfortunately, Flay goes in. He's like, I'm going to set up my own vision, but they know he's coming. And, I mean, that's an Ahri charm. As soon as the Ahri charm hits, you gone. You going straight back to Fountain. And
also the taunt coming from Lune.
oh, the huge taunt. Was it a 2-man taunt in the end? Just the chain.
It was 2-man taunt,
You
yes.
cannot face check a Galio and an Ari. You're just gonna get perma CC'd, unfortunately. And Flay today finding that one out the hard way, and then a beautiful flash charm again to lock down the Tom Kench, and he will also get picked off. So all in all, 2 towers, 2 kills for 1 kill plus Drake. I'm gonna say worth for RT1 right there.
Oh, definitely is. And looking at the kills as well for a long time period, the kills were pretty much in the favor of SGM, as now it's almost even, just with the differential of only 1 kill in here. And judging on the gold difference, it seems like things are looking much brighter for RT1 this time around.
I mean, I completely agree, but again, this Viego and this Syndra are so big. If you catch these guys on the wrong part of the rift, you're not getting back out of that one. If you just so happen to blink, and Xandar's is not a fan, you going back to Fountain. Like, this man is 2 full items. He is almost a full K gold up.
Oh,
a full level up. Oh. They do look here.
Might be in a bit of a trouble. The vision's getting cleared. RT1 looking for some kind of a pick, setting up the vision here as well. Wolf is slowly making his way from the bot side of the map. And it's just a question what's going to be the diff. Oh, okay, Shastana going in quite heavily in there, with the good exchange of both the AD carries. The Buster Shot is going to be used as well. But Misfortune is still well and alive. Here comes... Oh! You went to a different part of the Summoner's Rift, Ben, as he will be picked up by RT1.
I mean, he jumped in, he shot everything he had, and it just wasn't enough to kill Toto. And then after that, I don't think he gets the jump reset, or he uses it to get out. And I mean, you're just free picking Zen for an Ahri. You're just stuck between a Xin Zhao and an Ahri, and you are not in a good place. But yeah, good pick.
Setting up an ambush, and they will! That's a very good bullet time coming in there. Crescendo going to stop Misfortune from casting the ultimate, but a second pick was found here by RT1, and it seems like they will start this Baron uncontested.
RT1 this game doing an extremely good job of just finding little pockets of vision and really like just getting these bush cheeses and these death bushes off. I mean, you have the Gala, you have the Ahri, and you have an MF ult on top of it, so the amount of chain CC and damage you bring, if you can surprise a team from Fog of War like that, someone's always gonna die. And despite Flay actually ulting just to stop Toto's MF ultimate, the Sona ultimate burned there, but just not enough. And yeah, I mean, a good pick into a Baron, into I think the largest goal lead of the game so far at only 2k, so it's definitely still anyone's game. But I would like to see RT1 look to stretch a little bit of the map now that they have the Baron buff, and Drake is up in 30 seconds, so they will perhaps look to play 2 lanes and just control vision, control the river, and yeah, that's what we do see happening. But SG Momentum doing a good job of grouping up and making sure they don't get picked.
It just seems so that momentarily with the Baron buff, there's so many opportunities now open for RT1 to try and stretch it all around the map. They will be giving some very good pressure on the mid lane. They are making a lot of pressure at the bot side of the map as well, as Rango is continuing to split push. The Dragon will be started by Sanix, and there's going to be no contest whatsoever, because you can't really contest against so many Baron buffs coming around the map. The first, both turrets are actually going to be sieged right now, and the mid one is going to fall rather faster. The bot one is still standing there, a little bit of training now and then. And the Dragon will also go into the back pocket alongside with the turret.
I mean, yeah, Momentum opting to play for this top tower, but RT1 have Baron, and you're a Tom Kench, so committing 2 members up for that tower, you're gonna lose Drake, and you're gonna lose 2 towers. So, an interesting decision there, but overall, RT1 slowly pushing their lead, slowly using this Baron just to whittle away and to slowly increase their own goal lead here over Momentum this game, as they will now all just run top to clear out that wave, make sure Tom Kench isn't sneaking around up there.
There's not really a lot of split push potential coming from SGM if we're not looking at Tristana. with the possibility of the bomb in there.
Of course, I think Momentum have definitely opted for the pick comp. They have the Trist, they have the Syndra, the Viego. Maybe not so much the Viego, but they have so much single target damage and burst damage that I think
the siege might continue and escalate here. Going to interrupt you here for a second, but the tension is growing up. The turret is about to fall, and the advance of the troops is still continuing there, I think, but the tension is just growing up. I think somebody will pull the trigger rather sooner than later, and here we go. Spectrum Morph is going to connect onto Xin Zhao. There's a good stun coming in there as well, and Taunt also. But there's a lot of very good damage coming from both of the teams. Unleashed Power is not going to kill Toto off, as he will have an opportunity to walk away. Good Charm coming onto Tam Kench, good damage as well. The Abyssal Voyage will be used, but no picks will be found just yet. And SGM has successfully defended the base.
I mean, yeah, they withstood the storm. Unfortunate not to pick up Toto there with the Syndra ultimate. But, yeah, a large amount of tension starting to build up here as both teams do slowly start to dance around that base. But I don't expect to see anything huge happen until perhaps another Baron comes up or we start to see Soul Point. But yeah, both teams just making sure they're effectively gathering their resources and trying their best to control vision. I do appreciate that RT1 do have a lot more of the map in their control at the moment, as Momentum are forced to turtle just a little bit. But now that the Baron buff is no longer there, I mean, they might start to push out again, but yeah, not a ton of action expected for the next 2 minutes at least, you know, so.
Oh, no neutral objectives to really fight for, meaning that you have pretty much loads of time to try to set up the map for your liking. And that's RT1 pretty much doing right now, controlling the bot side of the map with the vision, which pretty much suggests that they might be looking to try and go for the Soul Point instead of just going for Baron. And this is pretty much the option they can opt for, because they've got the Baron, they've used it pretty efficiently. Now, why would you go for a second Baron if you can push towards the Soul Point? You can still try to siege the base right now, but there comes a good taunt, a flash, a crescendo, and Toto's nowhere to be found. And I think that we're going to count for the rest of the team. Luna will get fucked up. My god, the popcorn just might have screwed the thing, and the devil is about to make it a free man. Good double shutdowns picked up by SGM, as Xin Zhao has to run away for his life, but the chase is real. And it's still going, despite all the speed. The popcorn will be used. He's airborne, he's trying to run, but the speed from Zona is coming, and the Spectrum Maw might connect, but won't, because there's just no range. Sanix will get away from the harm's way.
Momentum smelling blood outside of their base. Xandra's with a great two-man stun, almost max range, followed up with a Sona ult. Kung Fu flashes in with his own stun. I mean, two people grouped up with that amount of burst damage, they just get instantly deleted, and after that, RT1 are just on the run. I mean, after two reasonably large carries do just get picked off, and unfortunate for Rengo, he does, I don't know who hit the blast cone or however it went, he got sacrificed to the gods, so bless him, he died a hero, but as I say that...
that's a very, might be overcommitment a little bit from Lune. Good damage coming in there as the teleport was used by Tankage, meaning that he will be able to join in with the fight. The Baron is about to spawn, and he will be spawned right now in 10 seconds until the Mountain Drake is about to spawn too, and both teams are looking to a little bit of rotation here. Might be trying to look for both of the objectives, or the trade of the objectives. Both of the teams looking towards each other, looking for go for these picks. Nobody's about to pull the trigger just yet. I think Wolf has started the Drake,
Wolf
though,
opting to start the Dragon down here, as he will just do it, and Momentum perhaps recognizing this, as they will look for a fight.
And they have zoned away Lune and also Sanix. That's not exactly the best thing. The Flash is going to save Rango here from the Abyssal Voyage and the potential knockup and the pick.
I mean, more importantly, I think they got Wolf off the Drake as well, and now they have the first run in on this Baron, so they can just go in again, clear out the vision, and posture aggressively.
Wolf has the teleport available, so that means he will be able to join the fight as soon as it will be needed. Not lots of flashes still available for both of the teams though. Kung Fu overextending just a little bit, but he's not going to get punished because the Baron's going to be started. It's going down relatively quickly. It's already on 9,000 HP, and both the teams are trying to take it for their own hands. Wolf is slowly making sort of his way from the mid lane. The Baron is going really small, but here we go. A very good initiation. The fight is about to commit everywhere around the map. That's a good shot down by RT1. Relatively and low HP. That's straight up the kills, and the fight is about to get even more. A good healing coming up through Darius, and the Devil is about to slay you. Good damage still going overall, and a good healing as well. Tristana will have to jump away, but she will bleed to death. Bleed, bleed, bleed. Good charm and an ace coming from RT1.
I mean, Darius 5 stacks goes in. The man is literally unstoppable. These huge Q heals, but even though the MF ult got instantly cancelled, Loon got a huge taunt, but it just... I mean, even with those two things, I mean, you cannot stop the pain train. The axe-swinging maniac that is Darius on RT1 Rango just comes in, does a ton of damage. And, yeah, with the amount of sustain in his kit, just innate to Darius as well, I mean, the enemy team will just bleed out over the course of that fight. And that is a 5-man Baron-strong team once again. And it's gonna look like they should get back to controlling the map, controlling this bot river. I would expect them to pick up this Drake, and we haven't really talked about it too much, but it is going to be a Mountain Soul. And when enemy team has a Syndra, has a Tristana, a lot of burst damage, I think the shield that Mountain provides and the extra resistances it provides does make it really a lot harder for Momentum to get these picks and to find these just blow-ups of hyper carries.
The soul point will be acquired now by RT1. One more Drake that is going to spawn in just under 5 minutes. You'll have the Mountain Soul. Basically everything you need in your hands to withstand the immense burst, as you've mentioned it, coming from Tristana, and as you mentioned as well, coming from Syndra, because there's also something that can potentially burst down Toto and Wolf. So that's pretty much something that gives you all the opportunity to try to work around with it. But now with the Baron buff though, you don't have the shield just yet, but you need to try to work around your Baron buff, and that's something that RT1 are trying to do right now. Although the clear wave coming from Ben is pretty much huge as well, managing to slay down those Baron buffed minions.
Of course,
so you really need to look for those picks here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is on Momentum to start looking for these picks like they have done already throughout this game. Otherwise, RT1 will just go back to slowly whittling down their base with this Baron, as Xandars does look for the Scatter of the Weak, but just barely dodged out by RT1 Wolf.
The siege is about to begin. Both turrets are slowly getting in there. Spectrum all going to connect, and Wolf has to go golden on this immediately in order to try to survive here, but the Heartbreaker will find the hill with the shot down, and now SGM who are on the chase. Diego still trying to chase, and that's an Abyssal Voyage and a good stun as well. And the Christian Guard might not save Sanix here, as he will be devoured and he will be picked up here. Rengo, though, doing the God's work, as might one have said, and taking down the blue inhibitor, and even making it
just barely getting out.
Teleport.
Sheesh, he got that one close. But I mean, again, we were just saying it, that they do need to look for this pick, and again, just barely outside the base. RT1, Wolf, ulting forward, looking for that big hero charm, but in response just is forced to blow his Zhonya's, and then once you blow Zhonya's, you're sat in front of a Sona with ultimate and a Syndra with Scatter the Weak up. You do not get to live that one, unfortunately, and great timing from the CC abilities, and Wolf just gonna get blown up.
Yes, indeed, and Sanix also had to play with his life, thanks to the Spectral Maw, thanks to the Abyssal Voyage as well, meaning that it's just not going to provide you with all the sustain that you need.
Of course,
but,
and I mean...
But pretty much now it still looks pretty much good for RT1. Yeah. Yes, they have lost 2 members of the team, that's 2 kills, that's, let's say, approximately, well, that was a shutdown there as well.
Yeah.
But they have managed to take the whole bot side for themselves, meaning that there's some certain limitations for SGM, also that they lack the mid turret as well.
Of course, I mean, mid turret gone, bot inhib gone. That completely opens up this bot side jungle for RT1 to get their pryos, to get their vision line set up. And the Drake is going to be up in just under 2 minutes. And, I mean, 2 good deep wards in and around. I say deep wards in their own jungle, but is it really their jungle anymore? But yeah, I mean, they still do have some level of vision in their own jungle. But I do expect to see RT1, you know, come through and clean it out eventually, as they might look for a pick here, or a straight-up team fight.
Might be Tom Kench ready to go in there, and the Harrow Path will conceal Viego for a little bit of a moment. Scatter the Weak is going to find Rango here, but not going to do a lot of damage and not going to provide an opportunity to go in. But the good Abyssal Voyage might be something that Tom Kenshin's looking for. Him Resuscitus still in there. Scatter the Weak not going to be used just yet. Harrow Path and the Spectrum Maw. Nothing is about to connect, and both of the teams are looking for a very big tension coming from this side of the map. 50 seconds until the dragon is going to spawn, and this whole point for RT1 is real. Meaning that you can't let that dragon go loose. Okay, Ari now going in there very, very deep. Flash will be traded by Ben in order not to get picked by the charm. You don't want this heart to connect to your heart. That's for sure.
RT1 shotting momentum out of their own jungle here. Viego might get caught.
He might be, and he will be. A good bullet time coming in there as well, and he's not going to be cancelled yet. Crescendo going around the white here, and a good fight is about to escalate. Darius still alive. The devil is still there. Hero's entrance going to bring the knockup. Syndra nowhere to be found, and the fight still going. Tom Kench looking to try and kill Darius, and he will in the process, as SGM still looking for some kind of a big. Toto is going to left play today, but RD1 are the one to be on top of the fight. Mountain Drake is going to spawn, but I don't think that matters for RT1. They try to look to end the game. Only Resuscitus is here to try to fight them off. The Silent Watcher, the only warden of the base, but will it be enough? This is the biggest question. The first Nexus turret is about to fall, so is the second one. Charm will connect, and the Abyssal Voyage will be the last resort coming from Tom, but the Nexus is going to fall as RT1 take the first game of the series.
I mean, super well played from RT1 there again. Just the vision dominance. They just set up their vision lines correctly. They completely shut the door, completely turned off the lights for Redemption, or not Redemption, that's my team, for Momentum in that game. And yeah, I mean, super well executed. The Bush Cheese Kings this game. But yeah, crazy game.
Fantastic game overall from both of the teams, really, from both of the teams. RT1 looking to try and to adapt to the playstyle that SGM had in the game. SGM looking for all of those picks, looking for the way how to fight around all of the stuff happening in there. Just pretty much overall amazingly played by both of the teams, but only one can be a winner.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. Only one team can come out on top there, and while it was pretty hotly contested for most of the game, I mean, I think it just comes down to the vision diff in the end. But yeah, super well played, and I guess now looking at the draft for Game 2, I mean, look, we've seen it so many times from Red Team 1. They're like, yo, we got first pick. We're going to pick the missed fortune. Toto on this MF, on this weak side for RT1, does such a good job. And again, they don't care what it's picked into. This man can play MF. He will survive, and he will have a large impact in these team fights.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I'm looking also, I mean, yes, there's Cho'Gath, something that probably Rengo is going to be pretty happy about. He had a fantastic game on Darius, pretty much. And Cho'Gath, probably not going to be a lot of difference, as he will have an opportunity to chew some of his opponents. And he doesn't even have to spit them away. He can just eat them. And Onivia also picked up for Wolf. We pretty much understand what the man is capable of doing with that setup.
Of course.
But I'm interested in the draft of SGM. They went to, okay, we've lost the game. Now let's go in a completely different way. We've got Lee Sin, Kai'Sa, Rakan, Cannon, and Syndra. What is the more powerful team composition
Well, I
for team
mean,
fighting you can look for.
I completely agree with you, but I think the one thing SG Momentum might find themselves struggling with here is Cho'Gath is going to be a pretty tanky guy. Yeah, you do have a lot of
Yeah.
upfront burst damage with your Lee Sin, your Syndra, your Kennen. Even the Kai'Sa I would consider more of an assassin kind of champion. But
Yeah.
that level 16 Cho'Gath is going to have 5-6k HP. You're going to need to do a lot of bursting. You're going to need to bring at least 5 men, but I guess the momentum here are going to be looking for those flank opportunities, while Red Team 1 opt for a more front-to-back style with the Anivia slow, the Cho'Gath knock, the MF ult behind all of the CC and slows that they have brought to the table. I mean, I feel like Red Team 1 have playing a similar style of game here where they can just look to sit in brushes or to control wave states and make sure that they have control over the map. Whereas Momentum have gone new table, they flipped the old one, they're like, change up the script. Xandar's had a good game on Syndra, we'll keep that, but other than that, they have brought something completely different to the table, and I like it. I mean, I think the new angle is definitely
It's
needed.
interesting.
I
It's
think
very interesting.
if you can get this Rakan out of lane and getting these snowballs going, and from the Lee Sin, from the Kennen, from the Syndra, even like from the Kai'Sa, you have so much dive threat, and again, so much pick potential. I think even more so than you did last game, because Rakan Charm can go into Kai'Sa, can go into Lee Sin follow up. Like you have so many more options as far as
Yeah.
making picks is concerned this game. But I think it's going to be super important to make sure you are isolating your MF, the Anivia, because it's going to become extremely difficult to kill Xin, to kill Galio, to kill Cho'Gath. They're going to be 3 reasonably beefy boys, some more than others, but
Yeah.
I would like to see how this one goes out, but I think it's going to be super close. Can SG Momentum bring this to a Game 3? We're just going to have to wait and see.
We're about to find out as we're going to go into the second game.
As I do get that up with a short freeze. We go here.
That's a brilliant freeze.
Yeah,
I love.
I picked
that
a good
freeze.
one for you. I waited for the opportune moment.
I love it. I love it. It almost looked like I'm having my moment.
Of course,
I can't-
I let you do your power pose. I
Oh
got
yes.
you.
Oh, that's another one.
Oh,
Very
perfect. Yeah, I've got you covered, man.
Perfect. Nice. Perfect. I love it. I really do love it.
As my computer breaks just a little bit, we will now be hopping into the game. As that does work, as I sort out everything here. And you know what I'm very happy about so far, and I hope I don't cast a curse it, is we have not had a pause so far. As
Sure.
we do see
That was streamed though.
oh, we do see Momentum looking for perhaps a play around the top side as I get my boy Brillman clued in.
I am.
Give
more
him what he
than-
needs.
More than grateful for that.
Appreciate it, no problem. We got you. 10 out of 10. But yeah, what do you think of
August.
the item starts here as the Kai'Sa opts for the longsword, the Anivia opts for the sapphire crystal? I think pretty standard stuff generally.
Generally, pretty much. With the only difference that it seems like Ben is looking to try to beef himself up a little bit faster than anybody else. And so pretty much the same counts for Wolf, especially with the early tradings. This is going to help him rather nicely. So it pretty much seems to be like maybe I think RT1 are maybe looking to go for the same type of play style that they had before, while SGM are looking to try to opt it a little bit in their liking, and pretty much hitting those level 6 is going to be crucial, because that's the moment when SGM can really shine, because Slicing Maelstrom, the Dragon Kick, Unleashed Power, Primal Instincts, and the Quickness, all those 5 ultimates can pretty much win you the game.
I completely agree, and I mean, just to talk about the jungle starts, Lee Sin opting to start Leechless so that both of his lanes can start to look to get that push, maybe for that level 3 scuttle. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if RT1 knew where the Lee Sin did start, as they probably did see, even though there was a fake leash, I think it was safe to assume that Rengo did leash, because I think he did not have full HP coming into lane. But,
Oh, that's a good knock-up. On here. He's trading to go into... Oh my god, a very aggressive flash in coming from Kaiser as well. Good damage, but the Ignite is ticking. Will it take down? No, it won't.
Just barely surviving. All summoners used from RT1's bot lane here. A great level 2 all-in from Flate today. I mean, just not respected by Toto and Loon in this game. And, yeah, I mean, we might even see a dive come out. That's a summonerless 200 HP MF. Lee Sin is bot. MF does have about 200 HP. No pots left. So, perhaps a dive.
Though. You need to watch out for this. So is Sanix. And Lee Sin will get spotted on the ward. That's something very to be careful about. Yes, he is, but he doesn't really care about that. He's still going in. And I have a feeling the Sanix might go in there as well. Good knockup found in here. That's a good first blood. Scored by SGM, but the trade of kills. And I think this is the time for Kung Fu to die, as the second kill will be picked up by Sanix.
I mean, a great idea in the dive, slightly mis-executed. I don't think Lee Sin had to be as involved as he was, but a great response from Sanix to be there. I think the dive might have been expected, not entirely sure, but first blood will go over to the Kai'Sa, but 2 return kills picked up for RT1, and that will put them on top. However, there is still the opportunity for Bentool on this Kai'Sa to now go and snowball this bot lane out of control. And I think this is exactly what the lane states from Momentum want to be edging towards. They need to make sure their dive components are ahead so that they can properly one-shot whoever it is they might find.
I have a question, though.
Yes.
We know that Toto is explicitly good at playing weak side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Momentarily, he's basically put in a position behind, practically making him a weak side, right?
No one knows weak side like Toto knows weak side. I completely agree with you.
Exactly. So, why trying to snowball Ben if you can go and shut down Rango, thus making it easier for you in the later fights to come?
I mean,
Does that make any sense?
I see where you're coming from. I think no one knows how to play from behind like Toto will, and I think we can still expect to see him have a great impact in these team fights. As Xin is gonna look for this. Oh, lane gank just barely not working as Loon's taunt does not hit, just barely misses. Perhaps Kung Fu might look for the cross map play once Rengo comes back, but I do not expect it. As Sanix will stick around here.
Yeah, he will actually, but he will be spotted by the Q. Lune tried to find at least some kind of way in, but not going to find any.
But yes, Sanix will finally depart from the bot lane, and perhaps this is the strong side Toto game we've been waiting all season to see. But yeah, I mean, well played from Momentum to not get too sucked into that fight, and not giving Sanix the opportunity to counter-engage on them.
And the trading on the mid going to be rather well into the Wolf side. Scatter the Weak will be finding the target. Level 6 hit by Syndra. This is a very important moment. Unleashed power coming in there as well. And Lee Sin is about to join the fight. Sonic Wave will not connect. Resurrecting might not go in time. No, it won't. But here comes the teleport. Now Cho'Gath is the one to join in the fight. Flash will be in there. Double Flash will be in there actually. And Scatter the Weak is the hugest possible, as it will shut down the continuation of the fight by RT1.
Super well played from Xandars. He plays around his level 6 so beautifully there. He justing 6 first. I mean, after such a large trade, I mean, and with the Lee Sin backing you up behind you, he just goes, pops egg, and I mean, that's all she wrote for Wolf. Now Wolf eggless, flashless. I mean, it was a good attempt from a re-engage with Rengo's TP and Sanix there, but a great scatter the weak to disengage that fight. And yeah.
Oh, that's a good taunt down here by Lune.
A little bit of supportal combat. As Cannon is 6.
Oh, slicing Maelstrom connecting onto Rengo. He has to run away, but he's being zoned quite heavily from that turret. And the solo kill will be picked up. Such a good start for SG Momentum.
I mean, I agree. Again, the level 6 power spikes being played around so well here. And as I say that, Lee Sin is looking for the lane gank.
Oh, he does indeed, and it seems like Looney might be in a bit of a trouble, but Dodo will find the death sooner. And double kill coming onto Kung Fu.
As you were saying, what a great start here for Momentum. I mean, Sanix just rear his head in time to see his two bot laners completely blown up. And yeah, just barely second to that play, unfortunate. But again, like, Momentum doing such a good job of snowballing the people that need snowballing, and even Rasutus and Xandar's doing a great job themselves at playing around their power spikes and just edging out and surprising the RT1 members with the amount of burst they have, and I mean, just with their levels. And now both
Oh, Sanix flashes in inside the Dragon Bit, tries to find some kind of a kill here. Dragon Kick with the Grisham card coming there as well. So is the quickness, but Galio flashes in, takes the taunts, and even the kill. Shut down being found in there. But the chase about to continue, but that's Rakan, and you can't really chase the man with such mobility. Good shot down by the cost of the Flash and the Drake.
And of course, trading the shutdown for the Drake.
Oh!
Some big damage, but you know, not quite enough to finish the job. Perhaps now diveable. Syndra no flash. But you got to be careful when you're diving at Syndra. She has a lot of upfront burst damage, but they do seem to be looking for it.
Man, it seems like a little of an army stuck in there on the mid. And I'm just interested if it's about this, who's going to pull the trigger. And it seems like, yes, the trigger's going to be pulled. No flash available for Xanders. The stun is in there. The damage is in there. Blink. You miss it.
And that was really, really clean and really well played from RT1. Just forcing Xandar's off his tower. Wolf lands the stun. That allows Xin Zhao to then just hit his W and go in. And after that, Loon's just able to press W, get the taunt off. You can't even move as Xandar as you have no flash, and he doesn't even have time to ult to press his E. He just dies, and super well executed dive there from Red Team 1, and then that's what might be their ticket back into this game. These well executed dives, and again, Toto playing super well on this bot side, doesn't get engaged on in response, which is super good to see.
Indeed, indeed. Seems like RT1 might be looking for their ticket back into this game, as it looked rather not the best for them. Sanix is on the top, and it seems like the fight is about to escalate there a little bit. The Herald is going to be started by Kung Fu. I'm curious if any escalation will come there further.
As we said, that bot side there is trading.
Yes, and so is there trading at the top.
Sanix might spot this out.
He will, and Rango slowly getting his way here, but here comes a cross-map play. Quickness is going to get Galio. Looney will be charmed, but won't be killed. Sonic Wave will connect onto Rango, as he's going to be forced away just a little bit in the mid lane. Both of the mid lanes actually making their way here. Slicing Maelstrom going to connect, but the Crescent Guard will save him just a little bit of the damage. Oh, Rango still living, but missing on the Herald. Herald will be picked up by the red team, and the chase is about to continue. That's the Herald picked up by Lee Sin, but a good damage coming onto Kennen with the knock-up, and that's the kill in the pocket. But here comes the rest of the team. Hero's entrance is going to prevent from the kill picked up. They scatter the weak onto that and Anivia, but nothing is about to happen just yet, as both of the teams are going to engage. You've taken the Herald, maybe, but we will take your life for this instead.
I mean, I think initially that play looks really, really good for the side of Momentum. They have Syndra moving first. And I think with that go, they're grouped up. Rasutas looks and gets a really, really good ult onto Sanix. But in response, Sanix's ult, just to knock him back and to reduce the damage from obviously outside his bubble, doing just enough to keep him alive. And the smite, obviously, forced out from him to keep himself alive.
And the split-second decision to save himself, otherwise he would have been picked up in that fight. But the split-second decision going flash, E, and smite.
True.
To survive, that was just beautiful.
I completely agree, and of course, you know, you don't end up with the Rift Herald your health, but you do survive, and you do end up picking yourself up a kill in the end. So, not terrible, not good, not bad. We'll see how Momentum do choose to use this Rift Herald. I think that'll be a huge, you know, tool for them to get value out of this game. But at the moment, they are up 1k gold. They are sitting on Herald. Drake will be spawning in a minute.
Oh, Sonic Wave.
But yes, perhaps Momentum looking to use this Herald to get a few plates mid and to secure the second Drake of the game.
Maybe also bot. We'll have to see how this plays out, as both of the lanes are pretty much in the even situation. Nobody's getting really pushed in, nobody's getting pushed out. Sanix and both Kung Fu are mid, so that no, not mid bot, and here comes a Dragon Kick with the play, and a teleport coming on the ward as well, but Rakar might be dead long before the fight is about to escalate, but he manages to get away. That's a good healing coming from everybody. Lee Sin will get picked up in the process. Rakar has to get away, but the second kill will be found as well. Lune is really, really low, but she gets the job done, as all the rest of SGM have to run away, limpering, not able to get back in the fight.
I mean, again, everyone with TP was in that fight. Everyone TP'd in that could. Unfortunately, Rasutus did not have his TP available to him, so it did end up being a 5v4. But Xandar is getting some really good access onto RT1 Toto, but a great exhaust from Toto, denying the potential one-shot burst, and it's a 4v5. You're not going to win that in the end, and despite Kung Fu looking for the initial engage, I think the MF ult doing a really good job of splitting that fight up, and then they just go through and clean up the members one by one, and they will get themselves that second Drake. However, Herald not spawned yet.
Yes, it is.
It is now.
Lune tries to find at least somebody, but this one will not connect.
First Blood Tower?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just 100 HP. Or something about that was left there on the Herald, just a little bit. And yes, you've taken the first turret. That is very nice for you. That is very good for you.
I mean,
and you've secured yourselves a little bit of gold as well. But
I mean, speaking of gold, I think now that Kennen with this tower and this elongated lane opened up, I think it's going to be super important for him now to take his gold lead and try to move it more, maybe into some jungle pressure, maybe down into the mid lane, but really get around this map now and have a wider impact on this game that we know like a Kennen with Flash and ult can have.
Yeah, the slicing Maelstrom is going to be a very big difference maker in the team fights that will come eventually. Still, oh, the Cloud Soul. You don't want to give that away to SG Momentum, you just don't.
I mean, looking for a bit of bush cheese here. I don't know if they'll find it, but Rakan does have the ult and the flash available to him.
The quickness is in there, and it is getting used almost instantly. He's going to be taunted, but he will score the double push. Bullet time will force at least somebody away from here. A good knock-up, as Primal Instinct is going to be used, but Sanix is here to help out. Good kick finding in there, but Sonic Wave is not going to connect just yet, and Kai'Sa is on the chase, but she will be chased down before her. The hunter becomes the hunted, and despite all the possible plays that Kung Fu tried to find there, great teamwork coming from RT1, as they will get 3 kills here.
Some great teamwork, a great response gank from Sanix. Unfortunate that Kung Fu just wasn't able to get there quickly enough. But, I mean, I don't know how intentional it was, but full credit to Lune actually blocking 2 Lee Sin Qs that would have otherwise, I think, gone and landed onto Toto and sealed his fate, being sent straight back to the fountain, as well as making sure that taunt did land onto Ben, onto that Kai'Sa, so that she couldn't continue chasing down the MF. So yeah, I think super well mechanically played, looking out for each other in that bot lane. But yeah, overall, that is going to be a 3-for-0?
Yes, it is. That was 3-for-0. Also, the Herald is about to spawn in just about 20 seconds. Meaning that you can try to contest it, as there's a lot of people now at the top side of the map. Toto is now showing us why he's such of a good weak side. But
course, I mean, we see this kind of play, this kind of enabling play means that Lune can go just around the map now, as they will look for the dive.
And they might even have it. Slicing Maelstrom will connect quite nicely. Here comes the flash as well. And I think that Lune is the one to tank the tower. They won't get the kill, but they will get the Slicing Storm and Maelstrom, and also the flash. Teleport will be available for Resostus quite in a second, really.
And I mean,
as Kung Fu forces actually Toto out of the lane.
Completely, but well sniffed out from Toto, recognizing that Momentum will look for this cross-map play, and while he does lose his tower, he does a good job of keeping himself alive, and they will trade in the end. But yeah, again, like, this is what RT1 Toto gives you. He frees up the support so she can go around, and unfortunately, the play didn't work off for them this time. But time and time again, she's being enabled and allowed to make plays with Sanix, and I find that it is a huge portion as to why this team is so successful. As they might look for the cheese onto Toto, but his spider sense is tingling.
That. Oh, yes, his spider sense is tingling, but there's a lot of things in there. Flashes and dodges away the quickness coming from Okan as the Sonic Wave will connect, but Lune is like a watcher, not giving anybody an opportunity to touch Toto this time around.
I mean, true, but that is Toto's flash, and MF, while she is fast, oh, I will say that, but there might be a team fight just about to happen.
Might be.
Okay.
Well, the Drake is about to spawn in 5 seconds, so that's pretty much the reason why the fight might be going in there. And don't forget, Kennen has the teleport. At any given second, he can make his way here and pretty wreak wreak havoc with the slicing maelstrom. I mean, the Drake is going to be started.
There is one very, very nice TP flank ward for the Kennen. They do opt to take it, but it looks like they are just going to back off. It is second Drake. It is only a Cloud. They opt to give this one up and use that time for Rasudas to get his pressure in topside and to get a couple of good recalls off. I mean, I don't mind this. I'm not super worried about RT1 getting a single Cloud, but they will use this reset to summon the Herald and to really put some pressure of their own on the map. Even though Kennen did manage to get top pushed in, they are just going to take mid tower for that. So good recognition from RT1 to know that, hey, look, they're all resetting here. Let's just spawn the Herald now, open up the mid lane, and yeah, I mean, slowly start to get some gold back. As despite being a few kills ahead, they do find themselves 800 gold down. Not a huge deal. But yeah, RT1 Rango might be caught here.
It is indeed. Sonic Wave is about to connect. He will use even a flash here. Here comes a little bit of reinforcements, but there is also Kaisa in here. The chick kick is not getting used just yet. A good wall coming from Wolf actually might have been one of the reasons it saved Rango here.
I mean, I think Rasutas was really, really looking for that Kennen ult, but just completely denied.
Oh, Scatter the Weak is about to connect onto Toto, but the exhaust, the hero's entrance, forcing Xanders to flash away, but the flash from Sanix, the chase, the crashing guard, and Sanix is dominating in that game.
Sanix is 6-0. I didn't even realize, but he is huge at the moment. He's only up 700 gold, but really, he's the one with RT1's gold at the moment. He's the man that you want to be making your plays around. And Xanders, unfortunately, just not expecting multiple members of RT1 to be on that bot side after he perhaps saw a reasonably large trade where 2 people showed top side, being Wolf and Rango. But yeah, a super good cross-map play by the looks of things from Sanix, picking up Xanders and shutting down the Syndra that was so dangerous in the last game.
Indeed she was. The Baron is up, and 2 minutes and 45 seconds until the Drake is going to spawn. So there's a lot of vision around the Dragon Pit coming from SGM, right? You've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5...
You say that, but RT1, they do not care. They are just starting this up immediately. They have the Cho'Gath Feast, they have the Smite.
Xanders has the teleport. It's getting used right now. Slicing Maelstrom is also available. That might be a very strange position now. Bullet time coming there. Very good. Taunts coming from Galio. Not going to pick up anybody with a Dragon Kick. Not going to knock up anybody by the way. A good knock coming there onto Kung Fu. And I think RT1 are going to be forced away now from this Baron.
And how does nobody die there? I mean, Xander's forced to flash, Kung Fu forced to flash, but again, just a trade of ults, like a trade of summoners there, but
I think the fight might be not over there.
Both teams posturing again here.
It is indeed. Good trading and a good wave clearing coming from RT1. Now, just question is if anybody's going to pull the trigger. The Baron is still up, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Oh my god, they might be spotted in here. Yes, that's a good knock-up, not going to find there, but Scattered Week will find 3 targets. Everfrost not going to slow anybody just yet, but Kung Fu is quite low. He has to run, he's getting chased. A good knock-up coming from Kurakan, but RT1 are not caring. They're knocking him up, and they're killing him. Scattered Week is going to find 4 targets. Yes, they will stop him, but here comes Cannon, slicing Maelstrom with the flash. It's huge, but it's not killing anybody just yet. Juno will get picked up in the fight, but the fight is about to continue even more. The Crushing Guard will save just a little bit of damage, but this flank maneuver grants a quadra kill to Ben, as they will look to force the Baron themselves.
I mean, Kennen just completely biding his time there and getting a massive 4-man slicing Maelstrom and setting up the Kai'Sa just to ult into the backline. I mean, RT1 had used quite a lot of their cooldowns already, but yeah, Kennen making it happen for his team, finding the unflankable, and it will potentially result in a Baron. I do expect them to still manage to pick this one up, but they might give up a little bit more. No,
this is a very risky Baron, though. It was extremely risky.
Baron outplayed by Momentum there with some good juggling. We'll put it down to that. But now you have the Baron. You're almost 4 full K gold up. Drake spawns in 15 seconds. Yeah, okay, it's a Cloud. Yeah, it's only your second Drake.
But I will stop you right here, because I want you to look at the itemization of Ben's Kai'Sa.
That is...
Slayer, Phantom Dancer, and the Collector.
Look.
Somebody's looking to have some sauce in their back pockets.
I think she's going for the full one-shot build, but I also know that people aren't a massive fan of Collector, and I think while you do find yourself, you know, perhaps diving backline, looking for the MF, looking for the Anivia, I feel as this game goes on and on and on, who is dealing with this Cho'Gath? Who is dealing with this Galio? Yes, he's a support, but he's still surprisingly tanky. And
oh, that's Galio after all.
It is still a Galio, and I mean, while I do like the idea from Ben, he's going in, he's gonna one-shot someone, he's gonna get out. I don't know how gold efficient Collector is, as Kennen is looking for Wolf here.
Might be in trouble, slicing Maelstrom.
Oh my goodness!
What is this damage?
Goodbye. Yeah, I mean, Void Staff. You got no MR.
What is this damage?
Kennen is practically dealing true damage, and now with 5 Baron empowered players strong, they will just look to really stretch RT1 here. They will finally break down this mid-tier 1.
So much damage as well. Yes, the turret is going to go down, but RT1 are looking to try and maybe stop that siege. Now there's going to be 4 members with the Baron buff. Scatter of the Week will find quite a lot. So does the Sonic Wave, finds Luna in there. But nobody's going to pull the trigger just yet. And Sanix will be the one to pull the trigger. Hero's Entrance coming in there as well. Not going to find anybody just yet. So does the Everfrost. And they will force SGM out of their tower just a little bit. That they can find in their way back in with no trouble. And here we go. Good sound coming from Loon, meaning that she will stop some kind of an engage. But Lee Sin might be in trouble now as well. And yes, he will be. And so is the Kai'Sa. Shut down, eaten away. The Jaws are here. And now RT1 want to go onto the offensive. They might be still potentially looking for some kind of a pick here.
I mean,
and I think that Kennen might be in trouble actually. Sanix is looking on to be on his tail, but he's just going to be happy with the Scuttlecrab. Ooh, Scatter the Week.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to go back to that play. Loon with an amazing taunt to save Toro there, completely denying the Lee Sin kick, and once he's used his ward hop, he's just forced to run away, and no ward hop, no Q. He just doesn't have any more mobility left. He's gone in, didn't get the insect unfortunately, completely through the great play of Loon and that W. But yeah, they just pick up the kill, and then they smell blood, and they turn it around, and they go on the hunt. Unfortunately, they will not pick anyone else up, but they will weather the storm, they will stop the siege, and they will save their tier 2 mid tower for it. But yeah, I mean,
it now looks much more brighter for RT1, despite the Baron that they have lost in the process. Because now on, you've stopped it. You can force a little bit more time. You can look for some kind of long extended engage here. You have 2 minutes until the Cloud Drake is going to spawn, and if you take that, you're on soul point, meaning you give away the soul. And Sanix might be in a bit of a trouble right now, or he's going to go right into being airborne and taunted. But there's Kaiser as well, and teleport coming from Ken, and Slicing Maelstrom is available for him, so he can make a lot of impact. Rengo is still not here. Still yet to be seen. Sonic Waves are getting connected here and there, but it doesn't really seem so like nobody wants to pull the trigger just yet. Sonic's looking for some kind of a cross wall play here. We'll find it, but the wards with the shield and the jump from Kung Fu, meaning that he's still relatively safe. The tension is still keeping up, and I think somebody has to pull the trigger. Now or never.
Momentum are not letting up this pressure. They committed the Ken TP for it, but RT1 do hold strong and look for maybe an engage of their own, but they are just dancing around the mid lane here, looking
1
for
minute Drake.
Oh, but yeah, they are just both looking
Drake.
for vision. Drake will be in a minute as
Wolf is not here.
Yeah,
Still, he's making his way here.
I mean, true, but I think Momentum are just going to look for that reset to get more wards onto Flay, and they will look for those resets to get those crucial buys just before this Drake does spawn.
Somebody has to pull the trigger. Somebody just has to. 40 seconds until the Cloud Drake is going to spawn. And if SGM are not contesting it, this is a Cloud Soul goodbye for them. And that is one that they would have really liked
now
to have in this situation. Sanix now might be going in, but Loon is the first to pull on the trigger. Bullet time being huge, being not merciful, and being really deadly. Kung Fu is nowhere to be found, and it seems so that SGM might not be able to contest that Drake.
I mean, yeah, again, RT1 recognize that they've reset. And with that knowledge, they slowly push up. Sanix looks for the play, and Loon sees this. She's like, it is go time. She flashes W's. You've got the MF ult behind you, and Kung Fu gets blown up before he can even move. And yeah, that will be the soul going over to RT1. And
SGM are looking to start the Baron though, or at least set it up.
They do opt to set it up, but Lee Sin is still dead. So it's looking like they will just run in and face check this, clear out the vision, and they might just start up the Baron for themselves.
They might just do that. They have an opportunity. Kung Fu is just making his way. So they have a little bit more time, but might be looking for some kind of a cheeky play first.
Cannon is looking for that flank.
He does indeed, standing behind the wall. You have Ben also making his way slowly but surely. And he just thinks now that one of the teams just really looking to pull the trigger. RT1 are going to reset here.
RT1 do choose the reset, and I don't think Momentum has realized this, so they still will cautiously dance around this Baron pit. So they will now move in as 5, though again, they don't know an RT1. Now that they've seen the people clearing bot, they will instantly go to clear out, and they will just start this Baron up. But
here comes the teleport from Rengo. That means the trigger is about to be pulled. Toto is still making his way here, though. Sanix, Lune, everybody is in there. Cannon is getting quite heavily stunned here. Slicing Maelstrom will be met with the bullet time. And the cleanup is coming from RT1. Going golden will not save you. Clean ace and the Baron coming to RT1.
Cho'Gath Everfrost into knockup, into a full channel bullet time onto 2 members. I mean, you might have the Slicing Maelstrom, but Kennen can't move. He just gets instantly blown up, and I think something that Momentum did completely overlook is 1, the Cho'Gath TP, and 2 is just the sheer move speed this MF has. She has Ghost Blade, and it's an MF. So she is up there faster than you can say the word strut. And fortunately for them, they completely pull off this great Wombo team fight. And yes, they did completely draft for this, I think, with the Galio, with the Cho'Gath, with the Anivia, and with the MF ult behind it. You have so much damage if you sync up, and they did beautifully there. And they will get themselves 5 Baron buffs. They are now 5 Baron buffs, Soul, a full 2k gold ahead, and they are back in the driver's seat of this game. So super well played, super good comeback over the course of this game. And let's see how Momentum chooses to respond, as they will just look to lick their wounds, clear out what they can, try and get some sort of vision control back onto this map, because it is still all to play for, as the Elder is spawning in 3 minutes.
There's
yeah.
3 minutes for which you need to withstand the siege. Try to find your way maybe to pick somebody off. You have 3 shutdowns you can work around with. There's at least some way that you can try to find those ways, find those kills, find the gold even as well. Especially that now it might be the case that RT1 might be a little bit stretched around the map. And if you can force the fight for the Elder Drake and even potentially try to win it or steal it, this is something that they can go for and maybe look for a win condition of the game. However, can you really do that? You've got so much trouble around the map right now in the presence of the RT1 that I don't really think you can do anything about that.
I mean, I
the Baron
completely
minions
agree.
are going to go in there, and so is Sanix going on to Kung Fu. He will be forced out, and even routed by the Everfrost. Now, the turret has been cleared here. Seems like the inhibitor is going to be started here as well. And it will be cleared very fastly too. Now you can try to look towards the side lanes.
I mean, I agree. Once Rango decides, yo, I'm taking this tower, his team just stands behind him. You try and throw a skill shot around that man, as they will potentially look for a pick.
And they might even have one. Scatter the Weak will not stop you from dying. Lune taking the kill, as it just seems that might be the last push from RT. Sonic Wave is going to connect, but the quickness is going to be used for nothing here, going rather wide. The turret is going to go down so quick, you can't even blink in order to see even the inhibitor go down as well. And the final push will be in here. Cannon forced away from the fight, and it just looks so bluntly. That's a good knockup, and the stun coming in there, but the Slicing Mage Storm will find at least somebody. Hero Central is going to be used as well, and the bullet time will confirm the kill from Toto. Primonite 6 used, but you will be chewed down upon, says Rango, taking the first turret, taking the second turret, and just with a little bit of fashion of team fighting, RT1 will defeat SGM, take down the Nexus, and proceed to play the games.
I mean, I completely agree. RT1 maintained their 100% win rate. They have not lost a series here, but yeah, I mean, they just look too tanky. Rango and Loon were completely unkillable in that final team fight. It didn't matter how much burst or play they kind of had. You just can't outplay a 5-6k HP Cho'Gath with the amount of CC that he has, with the follow-up from the Galio, or even the engage from the Galio, with Toto's ulti just slapped down on top of it. You just can't compete in the later stages of this game. But, you know, super, super well played there. And, yeah, a clean 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. If I
You are not.
bring us back to the correct scene, that would also be wonderful. Perfect.
I have to be honest, though. Fantastic series.
Fantastic
Really fantastic.
series. I think it was super hotly contested right up until the end of both games. I mean, game 1 I think was super, super even. Game 2 RT1 actually having to pull that one back from the depths a little bit. But really, really well played.
I mean, both games were very shockingly, how to put it, filled with all the action you can possibly find. All those crossplays, all those picks, all these team fights, they all were just so enjoyable. And I'm more than happy that I had a privilege to cast this, especially with you, Brady.
Thank you so much. But I think before we head off, we are going to have a quick moment.
That is true.
To talk to RT1's top laner, Mr. Rango. I will bring him in here now. Hello, Rango. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? How'd you feel after that 2-0 win over Momentum?
I mean, it was a hype game. A lot of shit talk beforehand, and I mean, we put our money where our mouth is. So,
I mean, yeah. As you said, I think there was a lot of blood boiling going into this game. There were a few words said from both sides. I think both teams trying to big themselves up a little bit, but I mean, I guess we just start from the beginning. Talk to me through that first draft. Did it go how you expected? How did the game play out? What was the plan, and did it stick to the script? Is I guess what I really want to know.
First game, it kind of. I mean, we had some miscommunications a few times between mid and jungle, like mid just going a bit too ham, too hyped for this matchup. But our mid laner reset it after game 1, which was clear. Like in game 2, he played as solid as he always does. I mean, Xenix just performed like he always does, just solid.
True.
I think the little bit of miscommunication between mid and jungle got compensated with me actually having a pretty solid performance on the Darius, just keeping us in the game.
Oh yes.
So yeah, and Loon, of course, I think I went on the first interview in play-ins with saying that Flay today was probably the best support in the league. But I think in the time span we've had in this split, Loon has grown so much, and I'm confident to say she's the best support in the entire league. I am willing to bet my entire team on it.
I love the confidence there, but I also would like to ask the question, Red Team 1, is this MF becoming Toto's signature pick? You guys are a massive fan of, you know what, we're going to first pick MF. We have full faith in him. He's going to sit, he's going to vibe. Loon is going to be enabled to just get herself around the map and do what she has been doing super, super well, making the plays. But
Toto knows what to do. I mean, he's still, we're still plat plays, and low dia. We still make little mistakes. We all walk up once too many times, but he plays it really well. He plays weak side really well. He also plays it really well when Xenix actually does hang around bot lane, because in these 2 games, we saw Xenix more hang around mid and bot lane than top lane. He doesn't always pick up the leads with it. Sometimes it's just hard to secure the kills, but I think his solid safety, making Loon able to roam so well, play around the map so well, adds a key factor to our team. I mean, on the other hand, for him having to play weak side, it gets answered with a 2-man TP down on bot lane the moment the enemy comes diving, as we saw in the NSF game. We balance it out. The man gets put on weak side, but he knows his brothers from mid and top lane will come down to help him out.
Of course, and we have seen in the past a plethora of TPs in for Toto. When the going gets rough, his team is always
even
there
this series,
him.
actually. Even this series. There were a lot of TPs coming from the top and mid, and then you just go, oh, there might be in a little bit of a disadvantage. Oh, never mind. Here comes the cavalry. And just everybody rushing to have a good old fight there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was still sloppy sometimes, miscommunications. The team is newish. I mean, sometimes there is a bit of problem in it, and it just needs to be ironed out. But I feel I feel really secure about playoffs. I'm ready for it. I think my team is ready for it, and we just go in and try to clap some cheeks.
And I mean, I think that leads into at least my last question very well, is that RT1, undefeated now, do you expect to keep it that way going into playoffs? Can you guys see yourselves winning this whole competition?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I'm loving this confidence so much, and trust me, we will be very looking forward to see you play in the further games to come.
Thank you. I am looking really forward into you guys casting it, and just having a great playoffs with I hope an awesome finale.
Sure, I mean,
with RT1 in it.
See you guys in the finals. It'll be a good time. And on that note, I will say goodbye, Rango. It was a good talk. Thank you for letting us know the feelings and emotions of the team. But we will see you later.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's pretty much... I think that pretty much sums it up.
That's all she wrote. Yeah, RT1 looking and feeling extremely confident going into the playoff section of this split. But yeah, I mean, a super closely fought 2-0 here. Unfortunate for the side of Momentum, but no credit taken from Red Team 1. They played a good game.
Brilliant fight. It was a brilliant fight. Yeah. It wasn't clean series when the team just gets basically... how to put it slightly?
No stomps.
Politely. Well, not just stomp, but it's person is pointing you to the door, and then the next second you find yourself basically flying through that door.
Yeah,
they were pretty much forced to be beaten in order to be like invited to go through that door.
True.
And then everybody shake their hands
They
and
were-
went, okay, that was brilliant.
They were politely asked to left. They were like, you know what? We see that we're just barely edged here. We will take our leave, but not without a fight. Of course, it was extremely close. And yeah, I mean, without further ado, I've been Brady. I've been brilliantly joined here from none other than Brillman, and
I was so brilliantly joined here by Brady. So many brass in there.
Team BB. Let's go. But that is
The R
all
team.
from us here from the SLE, and we hope to catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, goodbye from me.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in the next cast.